Most men think authority and influence are the same thing. They are not. Confusing them is one of the most expensive mistakes a man can make. Authority is visible. Influence is invincible. Authority can be named. Influence is felt. Authority gives orders. Influence shapes choices before orders are needed. A man who understands this distinction stops being confused by power almost immediately. Authority is formal. It comes from position, role, law, title, or responsibility. A manager has authority. A father has authority. A leader has authority. Authority is explicit. You can point to it and say that person has the right to decide. Influence, on the other hand, does not require permission. Influence operates through emotion, approval, attraction, framing, timing, withdrawal, and reward. Influence does not tell you what to do. It makes you want to do it or fear the cost of not doing it. Authority confronts you directly. Influence goes around you. This is why men raised to respect authority often fail to detect influence. They are watching the wrong signals. From childhood, boys are trained to obey authority figures. Parents, teachers, elders, institutions. They are told who is in charge. This creates clarity. But no one trains boys to recognize influence. Influence is not announced. It is learned through discomfort. A boy learns influence when affection is withdrawn, when approval becomes conditional, when peace disappears after disobedience, when guilt follows autonomy. These lessons bypass logic and embed themselves in the nervous system. By adulthood, many men are deeply responsive to influence without knowing it. They feel tension and adjust. They sense disappointment and comply. They anticipate disapproval and self-correct. No one told them to. They simply learned. This is influence. Influence is powerful precisely because it does not look like control. A man may say, "No one is forcing me to do it," and he will be correct, but he is still being guided. This is where men get confused and resentful later in life. They believe authority was abused. But often, authority was never present. What shaped their behavior was not authority, but rather influence. Influence works best on men who value harmony, decency, and moral approval. These are not weaknesses, they are human virtues. But without perception, they become leverage points. Influence turns virtue into vulnerability. Authority will tell you, "This is required." Influence will tell you, "A good man would understand." Authority sets boundaries. Influence dissolves boundaries. Authority can be resisted openly. Influence makes resistance feel wrong. This is why influence creates more internal conflict than authority ever could. A man can argue with authority. He cannot easily argue with guilt. He can challenge a rule or a law, but he struggles to challenge emotional framing. He can oppose a command, but he will hesitate to disappoint someone he cares about. This hesitation is not moral failure. It is untrained perception. Men often believe they are weak when they feel conflicted in these situations. They are not weak. They are simply responding to influence exactly as they are conditioned to. The real danger is not influence itself. The problem is that influence is the natural part of human relationship. The danger is unconscious influence. When influence is invincible, it cannot be negotiated. When it cannot be named, it cannot be managed. When it cannot be seen, it will always feel personal. A man under authority feels constrained. A man under influence feels confused. He doesn't know why he is tired, why his confidence eroded, why his decisions feel compromised, why his instincts went quiet. He only knows that something feels off. And because influence is rarely acknowledged, he often blames himself. This is why clarity matters. Authority is something you can accept or reject consciously. Influence is something you must see before you can choose. A sovereign man does not seek to eliminate influence, he seeks to recognize it. He asks different questions. Not who is in charge, but what is shaping my behavior right now? Not, am I allowed to do this? But rather, why do I feel pressure to comply? Not, what will they think about me? But rather, what am I trading for peace? These questions restore internal authority. When a man understands the difference between authority and influence, he stops reacting emotionally to pressure. He pauses, he assesses, then he chooses. This does not make him cold. It makes him grounded. It does not make him domineering. It makes him clear. Authority without clarity leads to rebellion, and influence without awareness leads to submission. Sovereignty lives between the two, and that is the education this channel exists to provide.